Monday?
Was that?
You didn't use my scouting reports on Friday?
I thought about it, but I got a little worried. But as we continue to get to know each other, the trust will build, and I'll just do it blindly.
What are your, I guess, immediate impressions of Cooper?
Man, for a young guy, you just look at him. He's got a chance to be really good. The biggest thing is there's a real belief or confidence behind everything that he does, and that's what can hinder a young guy at times, especially if he's as gifted as he is with the size, the length, athleticism, but also with the skill set that he has too to go with it. It's just going to be a matter of time.
I know you say it's a Casey thing, but Mitch's minutes, do you at the beginning of the year have to have a talk with him and this is how we're going to do it, make sure you guys are always on the same page?
I try to talk to all the guys all the time, but Casey's leading the load management program, and so he's the one that dictates it along with Mitch and doctors and Mitch's agent, and so whatever they tell me, I'm just regurgitating to. Somebody said they didn't like that word. I can't remember who it was. Was it you? It was recycling. Yes, recycling. So I just recycle what Casey says, to Mitch, but I try to communicate with him as much as possible.
Jalen obviously played a large portion of his career in this building. Just do you get the sense that playing today would mean something to him?
I think so. I mean, you got to ask him, but I'm sure he's had a lot of great memories here and something not so great. That's everybody that has been in different spots around the league, so possibly. Yeah.
You know for sure you'll have him?
I don't know for sure. I'm waiting to hear from Casey.
Mike, before the season started, you were pretty confident that your guys would have a really solid bench, and guys like Jordan and Deuce and Josh obviously have had pretty good starts to the season. What is it about that group that when you sprinkle those guys in that can maybe not necessarily change the pace of what the starters provide, but what different look do you get when you have more bench pieces on the court than the starters? Why do you like going to those guys?
First thing, obviously, it gives your guys a rest, and I didn't do a great job going further into the bench because there's some other guys that haven't played much or even at all that I'd like to throw out there. And during the regular season, it's great to give guys an opportunity because it keeps them engaged, but gives them a chance to be ready come playoff time. Because knock on wood, as you guys know, in this business, anybody can go down at any time, and so you need guys to be able to step up. But it's hard for those guys to step up if they haven't gotten any minutes at all. And so, the versatility that the bench brings us, Jordan's different than Landry. Yabu's different than the other guys. Deuce is there. They're all different, and they bring different skill sets to the table. So you're able to mix and match, fairly easy because of the diversity that the group gives you. The neat part about it is, all of them have been scorers or quote-unquote shooters at least at some point in their career if they still aren't, and so it puts a lot of pressure on the defense to constantly have defenders out there to guard those guys because those guys can guard, and then they're also, those guys can score, and then they're also trying to guard, but we got to do that better collectively as a group, which we did do a little better in our last game.
Josh was saying earlier how he's obviously a little bit happy to be playing more minutes now that kind of OG is out. Is that kind of the hardest part of the job when you have so many players that are capable of playing, and, just to kind of manage expectations about what minutes are going to look like this year? Yeah,
you definitely want guys to feel good about how they're being used as part of the group. But in the same breath, like Josh has been fantastic. There's been 2 games that I think 2, maybe 3 that early on that I've kicked myself for not throwing him back in the game late. They're not the same player, but man, he's just such a glue piece like Andre Iguodala was in Golden State. I mean, he just ties everything and everybody together. He does so many things out there that are just really simple that makes the game easier for everybody, and he's a two-way guy. And, in his personality, his presence is of a leadership quality, and in those different descriptions. That's what reminds me of Andre, and he can definitely do that for us and probably play more minutes. But at the end of the day, we have a good team, and I'm going to try to spread them around as best I can.
Did you happen to see what Steve Kerr said about the pace of the game leading to more injuries?
Yeah, somebody told me about that. Yeah.
Do you agree that the style of the way the NBA is now, that lends itself to more injuries, and is the solution just fewer games? Is there too many?
Steve's a little smarter than me. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a story. This is my long-windedness coming into play. But a long time ago when I was on staff in San Antonio, it was myself and Mike Budenholzer. We played 2-on-2 versus Steve Kerr and Danny Ferry, and we busted their ass. And Steve still owes me $100 from that match. I think Danny paid up, which is surprising, but Steve didn't. And I can't remember, I think it was Danny's wife was there. So I say that because Steve's smarter than me, but he's not better. I know he played 15 years in the NBA and all that shit, but he's not better than Mike Budenholzer and myself. So I just want to make that clear. But I think if we did play less games, and again, this is a novice speaking right here, it would help because the game is faster. And you're putting a lot of pressure on everybody's bodies playing 3 and 4 nights, or 14, 15 back-to-backs throughout the course of a year. So if you had a few more days in between to recover, again, from a novice speaking, I think it would be better, but that's just my 2 cents.
How about eliminating all the back-to-backs?
What's that?
How about eliminating all the back-to-backs and play every other day?
No, not every other day. that's still a lot, but to space it out just a little bit more, have less back-to-backs, so guys have a real opportunity to recover. I think could be beneficial just because, of how fast it gets. A lot of pounding, and the game is physical. It might not be 1990s Detroit Pistons, Chicago Bulls type physicality, but it is pretty physical, and to give guys an opportunity to recover just a little bit more in between games from time to time, and back-to-backs are okay as long as it's maybe 3 to 5 of them, I'm guessing, but trying to space the games out just a little bit more will definitely help.
I know that this is very small.
What's that?
I know it's a very small
Yeah.
sample size. People say that coaching in New York and coaching in the Knicks is different than coaching anywhere else. The expectations, the market. Have you felt that? Do you feel the enormity of the job so far?
Not for me, because no matter where I was, whether as a head coach or an assistant, I wanted to win. And I wanted to win my last stop in Sacramento, and it didn't work out. I wanted to win in Cleveland, and it didn't work out. I wanted to win in LA. So the expectations, if you're competitive, the expectations will come from that individual, first of all, and there won't be anybody that exceeds that individual's expectations, first of all. And then second, guys get fired quickly in other places just as easy as this place or that place. So I think the expectations coaching in the NBA in general are high, and they should be. We get paid a lot of money, and everybody wants to win and all that other stuff, and so you gotta bust your ass to do what you can to help the organization or uplift the organization and help them win, because that's what, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And hopefully you could do it sooner than later. But with the money that's out there, the expectations and all that, you hate to say it, but it is what it is, and that's what we sign up for. So you embrace it.
Last one, Christian.
I know your plan coming into the season was to move Cat around, have him in different spots on the offense, that it's not predictable what he's going to do. Just how are you seeing him adjust to be in different spots with him?
It's getting better. But again, I've said this before. He's got the largest learning curve out of everybody, and I think the longer he's in it, getting live action, getting action that's against the coaches, going through it 5-on-0, and then watching film, the better he's going to be.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.